Every night I'm going on the grid, texting back, I want you, hit you up, I'm on the other side, I miss you, take you off, I came in way too strong, cannot keep it low-key, got me drugged, your pheromones hit the roof.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about where you can save and splurge for your autumn winter wardrobe. I've done this video I think once before, talking just generally about the areas where I like to save versus splurge, but it's been a few years since that video and I've never really done a winter specific one. So I thought I would do a refresher video on this because my opinions have slightly changed on some items as I've kind of invested in a few key pieces and then really seen the value in it, and also using some cheaper items and seeing the value in that as well. So I'm going to recap the items where I really like to splurge and I think it's worth the money, then also the areas where I do think you can save without really noticing. So I hope you guys enjoy this and let's get started. This video does continue on my collaboration with MyTheresa, who I'm sure you're very familiar with by now, but they are my go-to for all things luxury. I love shopping with them because their items are always so beautiful, their edit is incredible, but also their customer service and packaging and just the whole experience is amazing. And everything that I'm featuring here today is available from MyTheresa, so I will link everything down below in the description section if you did want to check anything out. So my first category are accessories that often can get overlooked, and a lot of people, if they're thinking about splurging on accessory, will go for a luxury bag or maybe a beautiful pair of shoes, and those are all great, but I often find that the items and the accessories where I get the most bang for my buck are those which aren't immediately obvious. So here I'm talking of brooches, belts, that sort of thing. So new in my closet for this autumn winter is this belt. I do need to exchange the size, and to date I have never managed to order a kind of fancier belt and get the size right on the first time. It just never happens because they all have a completely different like sizing system. So this one I have to exchange for a bigger size because I can just about do it up, but there is like no room to eat or drink anything. So I need to exchange this for the next size up, but I love this. And this is a little bit bigger and bolder than I'd usually go, but I love everything that Valentino are doing at the moment. I wanted something that was just completely tan, and I thought this was so beautiful. I mentioned how much I've been loving my kind of brown and neutral tones, and I thought this would just be a really versatile piece. And I just thought it was so stunning. I've seen it styled a few different ways on Instagram and I've loved it every time, especially if you do keep the rest of your outfit quite simple and streamlined and just add this belt for effect. I think it can look amazing. I'm a longtime fan of statement belts though. I do think that they can really transform an outfit, and you can be wearing something incredibly simple, pop on a belt and it instantly transforms your look. I do have another one here, which is one I got, I think it was maybe 6 months ago. It's difficult to tell with lockdown, it's all kind of a blur. But this is a Sailor On belt, this is a skinny one, and I've gotten so much use out of this. It's so great. Even when I've literally just been at home and I wanted to put on a nice dress, not gonna wear shoes or a handbag because where am I gonna use those? But just popping on this belt, it really adds something. It makes me feel instantly pulled together. And the logo is there, but it's not super big, so it doesn't kind of scream Saint Laurent. You do kind of have to look to properly see it. And I just love this. And overall, I think belts are such a great way to update your look. You know, I really kind of fell in love with the statement belt when I got my Gucci Marmont belt. I wore that so much more than I thought I would, and it really did just show me how versatile something like this can be and really just open up a whole new world of accessorizing and transforming otherwise very simple outfits. However, on the flip side of that, I do think that accessories can also be a great area to save. I really do think this comes down to recognizing how you dress and what you gravitate towards on a daily basis. So my experience has taught me that I love a good statement belt, and I find them very easy to incorporate into my outfits and what I wear on a day-to-day basis. However, I have also learned from experience that designer sneakers are 100% an area where I can save, just because I don't get enough use out of them. You know, I once owned a pair of Gucci sneakers. I sold them not too long after I bought them because one, I didn't really feel the kind of joy I should out of something that expensive, and two, I just wasn't getting a whole ton of use out of them. And now I still own sneakers, obviously, but usually they're just regular athletic sneakers, which didn't cost a ton. And that's just personal preference to me. You know, I know some people have massive collections of designer sneakers because they literally live in them, and that really makes sense for them because that's what they gravitate towards the most. So it is definitely a personal decision, but I would always say to try and look at how you dress on a regular basis, and that should help guide your save versus splurge categories. My next splurge category is the puffer jacket, and I think if you'd have asked me this a few years ago, I would 100% have said that puffer jackets are an area where you can save. But then I got one jacket in particular, which I do feel like has kind of transformed my whole outlook on this. So I got it, I think it was last year. It's from Canada Goose, and this is their camp jacket. It was obviously a popular style for them because they brought it back this year again. And oh my goodness, this is my favorite thing. It's what I live in winter pretty much. It is so incredibly warm, but it's also incredibly lightweight, so it doesn't feel like a heavy winter jacket, but it's also warm enough that you can wear it all winter long. Like, it really is incredible. You have a hood on it and it just zips up. It's fairly simple, you know, it's not too flashy or anything like that, but it really just does the job, and it's not too bulky either. So even though it is a puffer jacket, I don't feel like it adds an unnecessary level of bulk or layers. So you're not walking around looking like the Michelin Man, which is always very helpful. And I didn't actually realize this until I was moving and clearing out my closet. I found the tag for this jacket, which I'd obviously just snipped off, and you actually get a lifetime guarantee on their jackets, which just totally blew my mind that they would stand behind their products that much. And so if there's ever a fault, you can just send it back to them and they'll repair it for you, which is just incredible to me. So I love this jacket so much. It is 100% worth the money in my opinion. The cost per wear for me is already extremely minimal because of how much I lived in this. It really is just a great investment for your wardrobe. On the other hand, an area where I like to save is leggings, and I wear leggings a lot. I'm wearing some now. I always wear them for filming. I wear them around the house. I wear them going out, layered up. I just live in leggings, and I do think that there's kind of a balance here. You know, I think it's worth investing in some nice quality ones which you don't have to replace every couple of months, but at the same time, I do not think that it's worthwhile to spend kind of hundreds and hundreds of pounds on leggings. And here I'm talking about all kinds of leggings, from athletic leggings to everyday leggings to faux leather leggings, you know, whatever variety you like to wear is. I do think it's a good area to save, just because there are so many good ones on the market that don't cost the earth. So many times I've been tempted to get a pair of real leather leggings, but they do cost like over £1,000, and you can get so many incredible faux leather leggings out there that it really just has limited my need for that. So leggings are an area where I get a lot of use out of them, but I do think it's a really great way to save. My next category won't come as a surprise to anyone, but it is luxury handbags, and no shock here, I do believe in investing in a really, really beautiful handbag, because if you pick right, then I do think it can last you for years and years, and again, it has that power to elevate any look with just one simple accessory, which is always the best way to dress in my opinion. It's just the easiest way, it doesn't take too much thinking about, and again, if you buy right, it can last you for years. So the two that I'm most excited about this season, I've talked about this a bit recently, but mine is Givenchy and Dagona in the mini and the mock croc. So excited. My black one is right there, and it was just such a favorite for me. I love this little bag. Again, it's a fairly classic designer. The Givenchy and Dagona has been around for many, many years. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon, and I love the new mock croc iteration of it. I just think it's so, so stunning. Another bag which I'm so excited about, I just went ahead and ordered this, but it hasn't quite arrived yet, and it is the Valentino bag. This is the shoulder bag, which you can wear a few different ways. I tried this on and just instantly fell in love. I thought it was so beautiful. These come in a whole bunch of different colors. I've seen them in white, in blue, in a few different shades of nude and brown. I think there's a gray. They have a whole bunch of different shades. I went for the nude, and I just think this is the most gorgeous bag. I really love love the new Valentino logo. It took me a little while to warm up to it, but seeing their new bags, I just think it looks so fresh. I love the kind of more pared back direction that Valentino are taking. You know, obviously they did the rock studs for a really long time, but I just love how fresh this feels, and I just think this is the most stunning bag. So I will show the bag in a video when it arrives, but this is definitely one that I'm really, really excited about, and what I do think it's worth spending the money if you do find something that you love, that you do think you're going to get a lot of use out of. My save item here though is little pouches, and you know, I love my accessories, I love wallets, I love bags, but pouches are an area where I really think that you can save and not really feel like you're missing out. And I've owned a lot of pouches in my life. You know, I've had really fancy ones, I've had really inexpensive ones, and I guess it kind of depends on how you use them, but for me, pouches are often what I use to organize my bags. You know, they're often a catch-all for all those random pieces. You know, I use them to collect tissues, not collect tissues, but hold tissues, or lipsticks, or just random bits and pieces that I do have in my handbag. And often they just get a little bit grubby. They kind of get tossed around in my bag a little bit. And when I have expensive ones, I just feel like it's always a little bit of a waste, and I always feel a bit bad using those items for what I use pouches for. So definitely an area where I've learned to save. You know, some of my favorite ones have come from really inexpensive stores. You can get them in really cute prints and they'll just cost like £10 or $10, and you won't have to worry about them. So definitely an area where I'd rather save. I'd much rather put that money towards a beautiful handbag than splurge on a little pouch. My next favorite item to splurge on for autumn winter is a great scarf, and without doubt my favorite one here is the Burberry scarf. I love this so much. I actually have this in two colors, so I have the classic camel one and I also have the pink one as well. And I love these scarves because not only are they lovely and soft and easy to match, they are very iconic, but it goes back to the whole idea of really, instead of buying a lot of little things, investing your money in one key accessory which you'll be able to wear with a ton of different outfits and will also stand the test of time, and you'll be able to wear year after year. You know, this scarf has been around for, I want to say decades, like it's been a long time. This is nothing new, but because it is so classic, you will be able to recycle it and rewear it every single year and really get a lot of mileage out of it. So for me, these have been a great buy for my wardrobe. I'm excited to wear them every single year, and I just see myself continuing to wear them for many, many years. In terms of colder weather accessories though, what I do like to save is gloves. Gloves are always very essential if you do live somewhere where the weather does get a little bit colder. I have a few different pairs, and for me that is a great place to save because one, they can get a little bit dirty. You know, you have your fingers and obviously you can wash your hands in summer, but it's a bit less easy to do that with gloves. But also I just don't think it's necessary to spend a ton of money on gloves. Often a lot of luxury ones as well come with a lot of logos, and I love a good logo, but I definitely don't want to be decked out head to toe in logos. I often find that if I do have a logo on my gloves, it can look a little bit much. So I would always rather go for something a little bit plainer when it comes to gloves. Really my aim in terms of gloves is just to have them not noticed and keep my hands warm. You know, I don't usually want them to make a statement, and you can get some really, really great ones for not much money, especially if you want like tech gloves or anything you're going to be able to use your smartphone with. So for me, gloves are definitely a no-brainer in terms of saving some money. Next up, we are talking foundational pieces of your winter wardrobe, and there is nothing more kind of essential than a great pair of boots when it comes to winter. And when I'm thinking about what I'm going to save and what I'm going to splurge on, I've really learned to spend a little bit more on longer boots and save on ankle boots. You can get some great high street versions of ankle boots, and I often find that they don't look vastly dissimilar from really, really expensive versions. The exceptions that I do make are if it's a particular style that a brand has come out with, or otherwise a longer style. So one of my favorite boots ever is the Stuart Weitzman line. I have a lot of them, so these are the Lowlands, which are fantastic. They are still releasing these because it's just such a classic design. I wear them every year and I just think they are so chic. I get so much use out of them, and I think I've had these for going on 3-4 years and they're still good as new. Another style which I feel like doesn't get talked about nearly enough is the 50-50 boot, and I'm actually guilty of this myself because I don't feel like I mention these very much, but I wear these all the time. Like, out of all the boots I've ever owned, I think these are the pair that I've worn the most because they are so easy to slip on. The lowlands are great, but they are more of a fashion boot in that you have to kind of tie them at the back. Whereas if I'm running out the door, if I'm going to the grocery store, going for a walk or anything like that, this is what I'm reaching for because they do have that elastic back. So you literally just pull them on and go. They're a little bit stiff when you first get them, but then once you wear them a few times, you can get them on in like 2 seconds. It really is a seamless shoe. They look really smart as well. They go just above the knee. Mine have fared incredibly well considering how much I've used them, and they're just such a classic, well-made boot. I'm a huge fan of these. So in terms of foundational wardrobe pieces, I do think that boots are a great area to splurge in just because you'll be able to get so much mileage out of them. And if you buy a great quality pair, they will last you for years and years. You can get them resold, you know, you can really have them in your wardrobe for a very long time. But there are also other foundational wardrobe pieces where I definitely think it makes sense to save and where I always try and save. So here I'm talking really about layering pieces, and I get a lot of use out of these all year round, but particularly when it comes to autumn, winter, and I am layering a lot, these are always just the essentials of my wardrobe. So here I'm talking of things like a white t-shirt and a lot of long sleeve tees as well. So not necessarily kind of thick sweaters, but just light layers that you'll be able to wear under a sweater, under a blazer, under a coat, that sort of thing. And I've tried kind of expensive ones, I've tried cheap ones, and honestly, it makes no difference. You know, these are something that gets worn a lot, so they get washed a lot as well. And cheaper ones will often wear just as well as more expensive ones. So this is definitely an area where I like to save. You know, I know you can get really expensive versions of classic white t-shirts and, you know, cashmere versions of thin black tees, but I just don't think it's necessary for layering pieces. I would much rather save my money and splurge on something else. And then finally, my last splurge and save category. For splurging, it's always going to be a beautiful tailored piece of outerwear. I don't think you can spend your money on anything better apart from maybe a beautiful handbag or something like that, but it's always such a worthwhile investment for me because when it comes to the colder weather, often your coat or jacket is the only thing you see. So you could be wearing the most beautiful outfit underneath, but a lot of what people see is your outerwear piece. So I always try and invest my money where kind of it's gonna get seen the most. And for me, that does mean coats and jackets. One of my favorite ones for this season is this beautiful Max Mara piece. This is a shorter one, so probably not one for the very dead of winter, but certainly when we're transitioning into winter and when it's still a little bit milder, I'm planning on getting a lot of use out of this. It's not super cold yet at the moment in the UK, so I'm fine just to wear this with a regular tee, but when it does start to get a bit colder, I will layer it up with sweaters. It is a crop style. It's this beautiful camel tone. I think this is such a lovely shade, and the sleeve is a little bit shorter, so it is a beautiful bracelet length. Really elegant. I always love pieces from Max Mara. I think they just do very classic wardrobe pieces, and their quality just never disappoints. In terms of other coats that have caught my eye this season, there is one in particular which I have been stalking. It's a beautiful white Valentino coat, and this one could be the most beautiful coat I've ever seen. It is stunning. I love it so much. I've not ordered it because it is very expensive. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it might go on sale. It is beautifully cut and tailored. It looks like a dream. I love the color, and it just looks so elegant and classic, just absolutely stunning. But regardless of whether you go for something that fancy or something a bit more affordable, I do think that a tailored coat will never do you wrong. You know, it's such an essential wardrobe piece and definitely an area where I always like to splurge in. And then finally, my last save category is sweaters. And again, this is an area where I have splurged in the past, I've saved in the past, and the sweaters where I have splurged, you know, I like them. I still own most of them. You know, they are beautiful sweaters, but I've also found a lot of great sweaters which don't cost hundreds of pounds, and I also love those as well. So a sweater really has to be very exceptional now for me to want to spend a lot of money on it, just because I do think that cut and tailoring matters a lot less when it comes to sweaters, and you can find so many great ones for a lot less money. So for me, it always makes sense to save there and spend the money on something else where it does make a greater difference. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my categories in the comment section below. Do you like to save in the same areas I do? Do you splurge in different areas? Let me know what you do in the comment section. As promised, I will leave links to everything I featured in the description section. If you have any questions for me, then leave me a comment. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.